This is a review of the Onkyo TX NR616 Network Surround Sound Home Theater Receiver. Here's what comes with the TX NR616. An AM antenna, an FM antenna, a remote control which controls every feature and function of the receiver, yet we found it to be not too intuitive, but it does work. And it's IR, direct line of sight, so if you hide the receiver behind a cabinet door, this remote won't work unless you add a RF extender to it. You get the owner's manual on disc. That's a little frustrating. We prefer paper owner's manuals. It comes with a setup mic, so once you hook up all of your speakers, you run the setup mic. It's super easy. There's a free application available on Google Play as well as Apple Store, so this application will work on Android and iOS devices. We use the app extensively. It works very well. Every once in a while, a button press on the app would not take on the receiver, but regardless, we were real happy with the app. We thought it worked well. We thought it was a great feature. Now, the receiver has a couple of things built in. We mentioned it's a network receiver, so you can connect it to the internet if you have a hardwired Ethernet connection at the receiver. We'll explain that in a bit. With that internet connection, you can connect with internet sources like Rhapsody, Slacker, Mediafly, Last.fm, Pandora, and if you have a Sirius XM account, you can connect there as well, and you can control those sources through the app and listen to them in your main room or in other zones, which we'll expand on in just a second. This unit's 17 inches wide, just under 7 inches tall, and 12 inches in depth. If you add connectors like banana plugs, you're going to want to add depth to this to make sure it fits in your cabinet. If you're looking to buy a gift for somebody or get it for yourself for a man cave, surround sound in the living room, home theater, what have you, this is a great unit. Let's go over some of the things on the back that we believe makes this such a great unit. Number one, it has 7 HDMI inputs. That is fairly unheard of in the marketplace. Competitors usually have less than that at this price point. So you can put a total of 7 interconnected devices on here. Now, one of the neat things, if you're an Apple TV fan, you hook up Apple TV, the remote control system for this Onkyo unit is already pre-programmed to control your Apple TV, which is nice. It also has 2 HDMI outputs. One is the main. You only need one. You connect this one to your television. Now, over here on the left, there's a USB port, so you can put a storage drive for music. It's not going to work with all storage drives, but most of them. There's an Ethernet connection, so you can connect to your Wi-Fi router, your hardwired router. You're going to need a hardwired jack where you locate this. Otherwise, look into Onkyo's USB Wi-Fi enabled dongle that plugs in right here. Preferably, you want a hardwire connect right there. Now, this unit will handle up to 7 speakers and 2 subwoofers. It is a 7.2 rated unit, but if you want to go with a 5.1 and only put 5 speakers on and 1 subwoofer, that's completely fine, and that's what most surround sound systems are anyway. It also has a line level zone 2 and a line level zone 3, so you can output whatever audio signals coming through this unit out to a separate receiver to power speakers in other rooms of your house. But what we really like about this particular unit is the powered zone 2. When we ran our test, we hooked up 3 pairs of speakers in other rooms which also had 8 ohm impedance matching volume controls, and it worked great. So when we used the application, we could listen to streaming content like from Pandora throughout the entire house, control it at our leisure on our smartphone application. If you don't know about impedance matching volume controls, please go over to our website, search for impedance matching volume controls, and get a little information on it. Now, if you want just a speaker out at your grill or in your garage, you can run a 16.4 speaker wire from these ports right here straight to a speaker. Make sure that speaker is rated at 8 ohms, even though this receiver is stable from 6 to 16 ohms, and you should be good to go. Now, one thing we want to note on these line level outputs right here, they're not going to output digital sources that are plugged into the back of this receiver, only analog, okay? So please keep that in mind. Of course, it has 2 subwoofer outputs if you're doing the 7.2 speaker system. Looking over here, it has a total of 4 composite level inputs. You'd really only want to use these if you have like a legacy or an older type device like a VCR. You know, the VCR has the yellow output on the back. Oftentimes you could plug that in here. Or other devices, if you're running out of inputs, we can't imagine you'd run out of inputs with all the HDMIs and so forth. It also has 1 component video input and 1 component video output. So if you have maybe an old DVD player, you know, component video is high definition, you could plug it in right here. And you can output it through the HDMI because this unit does automatically upconvert. That's real nice. And if you want, you could also hook up a component wire to the TV, so you would have the output from here as well. Over here there are 4 digital audio inputs. 2 of them are Toslink optical, and this is a digital coaxial. They're both going to perform very comparably. In other words, you probably aren't going to hear it with your ear, but they're both going to output. They're both going to allow an audio signal that's digital to come into this particular unit, and they're assignable, so you can assign them to this component input right here. And that is pretty much all that we can say. There's also an AM antenna input, an FM antenna input right here. You can take the audio output from the back of your TV and plug it in right here. If you happen to want to hook your PC up or another audio source, you can hook it up right here. There's plenty of connectivity on the back of this receiver. For the price point, you can't go wrong. So here's a sampling of the app. The app is available on the Google Play Store and on Apple's store. So you can use this on an iOS device, you can use this on an Android device. We tested it extensively. We're very happy with it. It's really robust. It controls virtually everything in relation to the receiver. If you have the television in your main room connected to this receiver with this HDMI output, you're going to see a display on your TV that essentially mirrors what the application shows you. But the nice thing, if you're on the back porch, in the garage, in another room, and you want to advance to a different song, change to a different source, I mean, you have just a whole selection of sources with this particular unit. You don't have to go to the unit, you don't have to grab the Onkyo remote. You can do it right from your little handheld, and it works great. Hey, do us a favor. If you enjoy videos like this, you find them informational, right here, please subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. And if you enjoyed this video, let your friends know, visit our website, like us on Facebook, and we hope you have a great day. If you have any questions, post them right below the video.